Episode 39. Want to be punished? Briefly, they were deadlocked. Jade felt she had no choice but to take a bite. She felt the stares of women around her, like bullets piercing her body. Afraid that he would try to feed her again, she quickly picked up her pizza and took another bite. However, Dario was not done. He pointed at his slice and said, "Reciprocity." "What? What do you mean?" Jade looked at him apprehensively. "Feed me." "What? No way." Jade looked around the restaurant and blushed. Why did Dario want her to feed him? This was beyond embarrassing. Plus, what they were doing right now looked just like a couple in love. The whole thing made her extremely uncomfortable. Seeing Jade hesitate to feed him, the other women in the restaurant eagerly volunteered. "Hey, dummy, if you don't want to feed him, I'll do it." "That's right. Hey, hot guy, I can feed you." Jade thought that they were joking, but then an extremely bold girl walked towards their table and seemed about to grab Dario's slice. Jade snatched his plate, feeling fairly stupid. She held up the slice and shoved it into Dario's mouth. Dario noticed the flash of emotion in her eyes. He smiled with satisfaction. Oh my God, he's even hot when he's eating a piece of pizza. Right? Perfection. This is so unfair. He's so gorgeous. Jade quickly finished her own slice. She could hardly even look at Dario. This was the first time she'd ever fed a man. As they ate, Jade glanced at him occasionally. She was afraid that he would hate the place or complain about the food. After all, he was wealthy. It was a step down for him to eat in such a run-down restaurant. Surprisingly, Dario showed no sign of distaste. He ate his pizza neatly, somehow avoiding getting grease all over his fingers. Jade, on the other hand, she looked like a beggar who'd been starving for days. She felt even more ashamed. There he was, looking elegant and polished in his expensive suit. He didn't even seem to feel out of place in this dumpy pizza place. No wonder all the women in the restaurant were head over heels in love with him. After finishing their pizza, Dario took Jade's arm and pulled her out of the restaurant. Jade balked. She hadn't even paid yet. "Wait, slow down, I haven't paid for our pizza." The moment she spoke, 3 women rushed to the counter and volunteered to pay. "Let's go," Dario said, grabbing Jade's hand. Jade was dragged along behind him on the verge of tears. Never in her life before had she skipped paying for her own meal. What kind of person was Dario to leave without paying? "This is wrong, Mr. Foster. I know I'm poor, but I can't eat without paying." Dario turned back and looked into her tearful face. He laughed and tapped her forehead. "Silly, I've already paid." "What, really?" "Yes." He looked so earnest, Jade decided to believe him. The truth was, Lucas had snuck in and paid for their pizza while they were eating. This ridiculous child, did she really think he would allow her to pay? He could hardly bear the thought. "I've sent David Swan to pay for your grandma's medical bills. If you're still worried, you can call the hospital." "What? Really?" Jade's eyes brightened, as if scattering rays of sunshine, vanquishing the haze. For some reason, she understood he wouldn't lie to her about something like this. "Let's go." "Where?" "Stonington." "Why are we going back to the university?" "For the audition." "Mr. Foster, stop teasing. Mr. Zape has already left. Why would I go back for an audition?" Dario held her hand firmly and brought her back to the building where the auditions had been held. "How will you know if you don't take a look?" "But..." Jade stood at the stairs hesitatingly, but the look in his eyes somehow convinced her. It was impossible though, wasn't it? Why would the production crew have come back? There was no reason for them to come back. They had already cast all the roles. "Hurry!" Dario pushed her back, urging her forward. Jade braced herself and began to climb the stairs to the second floor. Just as she started, she felt a force pulling her back. She turned and fell into a familiar, muscular embrace. Before she could think, she could feel something warm pressing against her lips. Startled by this sudden kiss, she covered her mouth and stared at Dario. It was clear from her eyes that she wanted to know what he was thinking. Dario, on the other hand, leaned closer to her ear and whispered, "You never said I couldn't kiss you." "You..." Jade scowled. She wanted to tell him he was despicable, but the look in his gentle eyes squashed her words. Good luck. If you fail, I'll punish you, Dario said seriously, as he stared at her tempting lips. What punishment? Jade was shocked and confused. Who could understand what was in this man's mind? You'll know when the time comes. Dario grinned devilishly. Jade clapped her hands over her mouth. What's wrong? Don't you want to go audition for a role? Maybe you want your punishment now? Since she was frozen in place, Dario leaned in close, wrapped his arms around her waist, and raised his eyebrows. They were so close, they seemed to be breathing in unison.